Yeah, thank you for joining us today for fireside chat about 21st years of Opsis, a CRM success story. Let me just give you a quick intro about me. I'm Himanshu, and I'll hosting this particular event along with Gil. Okay, so let me also introduce Gil a little bit. Okay, so Gil is the founder of the Opsis, Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Platform leader, CRM catalyst, success catalyst, and long-time mentor, trainer, solution architect. Okay, so for more than 21 years, Gil and her team at Opsis have been helping the organizations not just implementing the CRM, but truly succeed with it, and always with the people at the heart of the process. Okay, so Gil, if you would like to add something about you in detail, if I missed anything.
Oh, well, I could keep us going till midnight talking about me, but respecting other people's time, I will not do that. I've been working with what we now call Microsoft Dynamics 365 Power Platform for over 21 years. I actually had 2 years experience I founded Opsis, and I've got 10 years further CRM experience prior to the joining what was then Microsoft CRM. And I have to admit, I think in that 21 years, there is nothing that hasn't changed. The technology has changed hugely. My approach has changed. I have morphed from almost pure training to a very people focused implementation. I have grown, shrunk, and grown my team, and just a little bit. And my friend Julie, who has joined us online here, will attest to this. I think I have also changed as a person. So,
Okay, great. So, Gil, let's kick things off. Let's start with your journey. Okay. So, I'd like to ask you first, like, what inspired you to start Opsis back in 2004?
quite simply, I felt there had to be a better way. I had just left a Microsoft Gold Partner practice who was they wanted, although they abandoned the idea, to set up a Microsoft CRM practice. And they were doing a pure technology approach, tech, tech, tech. Absolutely. We'll show you the system. You tell us what needs changing. And they were not taking a leadership or expert position. I knew from my previous experience, both at Microsoft and with other companies in that 10-year prior, that not only there had to be, but that there was a better way. So I founded Opsis on the sniff of an oily rag, and fairly soon I developed my scoping methodology. Like everything else, it has evolved, but that has come off the back of a 6-week project that I did in Kuala Lumpur. And
Mm-hmm.
I also use not that far from you, Himanshu, in Mumbai, working for Reliance Infocom.
Mm-hmm.
So I took all of that experience and so on, and I've created that into a scoping workshop, which is very process and data focused. So when
Mm-hmm.
we implement any CRM, we are focused on your KPIs, your processes, your data, and your users. And that, while it's evolved a bit, that is still true about any project that we undertake. The
Yeah.
technology is secondary. And one of the reasons for that is that most of the changes that any organization might need or want in in Dynamics, or in fact in any other similar technology, the technical changes are pretty easy to do. What is hard
Mm-hmm.
is working out which of the changes make sense for a particular organization. Where are the low-hanging fruit? Where is the value? And that is that's the big part of what we bring to the table. We look at your business, your KPIs, your processes, your data, and then we don't expect you, like many people do, we then work out what changes make sense to help with your business bottlenecks. And then, of course, we will show and explain those to you, and
Yeah.
tweaks can be made based on your feedback without a doubt. And then we move forward from there. And that is typically an iterative process.
Great. Like it's very inspiring. In fact, getting the license is very easy, but implementation in the right way is the, I believe, true challenge. Okay, because nowadays everyone is talking about CRM, everyone is talking about AI, but if they have not implemented it successfully according to their routine process, I don't think so they'll get the good ROI for from any
It's
ERP and CRM, right?
You won't. And in
Yeah.
fact, when I was working in India, one of my colleagues told a story that organizations need to implement CRM 3 times to achieve success. And the first
Okay.
two can be thought of as, well, I like the theatrical analogy, the technical rehearsal and the dress rehearsal, ready for the third attempt being go live.
Mm.
Now, there is still, in this day of cloud and agile and umpteen other modern buzzwords, there is still a lot of truth in that. And only this morning, I was reading a blog post from one of
Mhm.
my Australian colleagues, a gentleman called Avon, who quoted a call that he'd had, and I can't quote it exactly, but the gist of it was his prospect saying, we've tried Zoho and that didn't work. And then we moved to Salesforce and that didn't work. And it was even more expensive. And now we're looking at HubSpot. And
Mhm.
Avon went on to explain how if they haven't fixed the internal problems, they could try every technology out there and then some, and they will still not see success. I
Yeah.
commented on his post with the piece that immediately came to mind of, if you keep seeing the same problems and you want to find the source of the problems, looking in the mirror might be a good place to start.
Great. Great. So, Gil, it's more than 2 decades now. Okay, you are in this domain, you are in this field. Okay. So looking back, what were the biggest challenges in the early years and how did you overcome them?
The main challenges in the very early years was explaining to people that Microsoft did have a CRM product, that it was a valuable CRM product and well worth exploring. However, for probably certainly the first 5, maybe even the first 10 years, budget wise, it really was targeting the big end of town. Now, with Dynamics 365 online and some of the low end licenses, few other changes that Microsoft have brought in, it is an investment that most organizations can achieve ROI from. You do, of course, have to make sure that you don't have champagne tastes on a lager budget. Not that there's anything wrong with having champagne tastes, but understand that the budget does need to match if that's the way you want to go.
Hmm. I think it's always challenging while dealing with the non-tech people from different vertical, different domain, different industries where you need to understand uh, their legacy system, their outdated system, and then understand how this particular a module, what kind of the customization is required to make them happy to release from any kind of a monotonous and repetitive the duplication work, right? So yeah, it's always challenging while dealing with the people and understand their unique needs and how you can fit it within the CRM and implement it in a right way.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
so
see a lot of business people who glibly assume, and Julie, from your area of life, you will find this amusing as well. Julie and I do go back a long way, hence the comments.
Mhm.
The idea that because we've implemented CRM once, twice, a lot more than that over the last 21 years, we know exactly what an organization needs. And sometimes I will tell a story talking to someone, maybe Julie as a board member of whatever organization she's representing at the time. And I'll say, so you want the processes that we implemented for the secondhand vacuum cleaner salesman that I was talking to yesterday? And they'll say, no, we don't sell secondhand vacuum cleaners. But, but there's a lot of assumptions. And even if you were a secondhand vacuum clean salesperson, and I really had been talking to a secondhand vacuum cleaner salesperson yesterday, I can still bet my parents' farm that you will want something different to yesterday's secondhand vacuum cleaner salesperson. And I'm sure you can attest to that, Julie, in your line of work, of these assumptions and so on, even if you don't sell secondhand vacuum cleaners very often.
Okay, uh, great. Let's talk now something about lessons from your reflection. So, like as we all now aware that you have said your 21 lessons, which ones do you feel it's resonate the most with the business leaders today?
It will be at the moment, at any rate, the importance of stakeholder involvement and governance, that the senior people in the organization cannot, however busy they are, delegate this down totally. Finding the right people in the organization and enabling them, empowering those people to lead the project is key. And of course, giving them the ability to make relevant financial decisions. I've got a client at the moment that tried delegating it down to a new graduate, early 20s lady, lovely lady. I'm not going to name them, but didn't give her any of the authority to really make decisions. Now, that never, ever works.
Mhm.
So, finding the right people and empowering them. And of course, part of that empowering is it's not reasonable if somebody has a full-time job and they're already busy saying, oh, yes, you can lead the CRM project. Well, something has to be taken from them if they're going to be leading that CRM project well. It is not a 5 minute a day, or you can do it in your spare time type role.
Okay,
So
okay.
definitely stakeholder engagement. And I think following that, and this is me through and through, is the importance of education. And
Mhm.
education is way, way, way more than end user training, a couple of half days immediately prior to go live. Often we find that we need education right the way through the project and right the way across the team from top to bottom. From the executives need to understand a bit more about the technology. End
Mm-hmm.
users probably need to be shown how to step outside their role and see where the bottlenecks are. And generally, and this is one of the things that I try to do, and it's what I call my move to the middle approach, and it's what was missing in that story I told you earlier of the organization who were onto technology number 3. But
Mm-hmm.
you need to look at, you've chosen a technology. Now, I can guarantee if it's any of the mainstream technologies, Dynamics, Salesforce, HubSpot, that technology is good. So we've got that. And you've got your business here. That also, I'm going to assume, is good. Trying to force the technology all the way over there doesn't work. Trying to force the business all the way over there also doesn't work. What you need to
Mm-hmm.
do is move both to the middle. So change the business to leverage the technology and configure and customize the technology to suit the business.
Great. Yeah, yeah. Now, the thing is that like, were there any lessons that that surprise you in how the strongly they connected with the people? I think you have already answered this in my earlier questions, but still, if you want to comment anything related to the more related to the people.
Oh, it's people, people, people. And there is a lot of research into CRM project failure. A very quick internet search will bring you back way more results than you're going to read this side of Christmas, unfortunately. But when we analyze that research, 60% of the failures are down to people failures. Then we've got 30% are process, and only 10% are down to poor technology choices, poor implementation, as in technology implementation decisions. So if we go back to that company I've alluded to a couple of times, they were clutching at straws in saying that Zoho didn't work, Salesforce didn't work, so now we'll go to HubSpot. All of those are in the 10%. And I'd be
Mhm.
quite sure that the real reason is probably people, and in that 60% of the reasons for failure.
Yes. There is always challenge of adoption of a new technology or new tools, right? So I understand that. Now, moving forward, let's talk more about the culture and the future. So I've seen the couple of your blog posts, job posts, everything, and you always said the CRM is about the people first, as you have already answered on it. Okay. But how do you see the CRM and the dynamics evolving over the next 5, 10 years?
Oh, it will certainly, particularly, well, I think pretty much all the mainstream technologies are going to be embracing AI, artificial intelligence, in different forms. And there is a lot of opportunity for that because there's a lot of repetition in sales and service and marketing. There is also a lot of data involved. And both of those are areas where AI can do an awful lot of heavy lifting for us.
Mhm. Okay.
Other areas that it will involve, it will probably continue on the trend that has been running for a number of years of becoming less and less structured, much more homogeneous in terms
Mm-hmm.
of what you can do, even if that homogeny is then subdivided by different licenses. And of course, the other area that it will take is even more automation. So the key people are going to be those using data summaries effectively, not even the raw data, and the people doing the design level. A lot of the grunt level is going to move away from people to systems and technology.
Yeah.
But I also think we will see a lag for that. I think the technology capability will outrun people's capability of leveraging it, taking advantage of it, and really making use of it, because we'll have the resistance to change that we've always had.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
sure, change management and education are a big help. But when you're asking people to make massive changes, it still takes time. You can't turn the Titanic on a sixpence.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
that's probably a mixed metaphor, but never mind.
Yeah. So now, as we all are learning from your 2 decades of experience, okay, and you rightly said about the people first, okay, and 60% failure of any particular ERP CRM is just because of the people, okay. Now, I would like to ask you about a very uh, quick advice you would give to an organization who wants to start their CRM journey now.
If we assume that said organization really has very little in the way of CRM, so it's not a case of going from one CRM technology to another, but they've really got very little in place, the very first thing I would do is start asking them and coaching them about what business bottlenecks do you
Mm-hmm.
want to solve with this project? And then once we've got an answer to that, I would start pushing into in that area of business bottlenecks, or the areas of the business that would be freed up by resolving those bottlenecks. How do you want things to work? So what processes are sensible for you?
Mm-hmm.
And only then would I start looking at technology. So a story that I tell quite frequently is that at networking events and anything similar, I am frequently asked, oh, you're in CRM. What CRM technology do you recommend? And of course, people are wanting me to say, you should use Dynamics, you should use Salesforce, you should use whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
never, ever give that answer, even though I am a dynamic solution architect. I will
Correct.
always answer along the lines of business bottlenecks, KPIs, what's important for your business. Because being brutally honest, Dynamics, Salesforce, Zoho, HubSpot, and a number of others will probably meet your needs. So
Mm-hmm.
then, in terms of ROI, it's taking those products, looking at the vanilla version, understanding what your business needs. Is the journey from vanilla to desired this big, or this big?
Okay. So
And
it's not
hence the
only.
cost.
Yeah, so it's not only related to the strategy leadership, or not only related to the implementation and optimization, and also not only related to the people and adoption. Okay, it's along with the data insights, data quality, and at the end, of course, the measurement of the ROI, right? So
Yes.
that's how you has been helping the organized to unlock the true potentials of a CRM since last more than 21 years. Okay. So now, just one closing questions to you, Gil. Like, what does the 21st anniversary of Opsis mean to you personally?
I can't help but comparing that to statistics that get bandied around of the number of businesses that fail in the first year, fail in the second year, fail before year 5, and so on. So I suppose what it means is really a strong sense of pride. In that 21 years, we've helped well over 200 organizations, some just a little bit, some a lot with their CRM journey. Some it's just been a very small piece of training for certain people, maybe part of their implementation team. Some it's just
Mhm.
been some mentoring of a senior person who'd had the project thrust upon them, didn't really know what to do. But many of them, it has been end-to-end implementations, and in an embarrassingly large number of instances, it has been helping them with a rescue because the people they've had in previously have done a spectacularly bad job. And
Mhm.
we end up often, maybe not often, but sometimes having to throw out what they've got and they've paid for and re-implementing. And quite often what we give them is much closer to out of the box than what they previously had. So
Mhm.
yes, in summary, what this means is a massive sense of pride that I've achieved what I've achieved. And here for the next however many years. It probably won't be another 21 unless somebody wants to step into my shoes, but I
Yeah.
fully intend doing this for a good few years more.
Yes, of course. So thank you, Gil, for sharing your journey, insights, and wisdom of 21 years of Opsis. Also, thank you everyone who joined us this evening to being a part of this celebration and conversation. Okay, from my end, like if there is a one take away, okay, it's that the CRM is never just about the technology, as Gil's right said, that it's about the people, culture, and long-term success. Okay. So on behalf of Gil and myself, we appreciate your time and wish you a continuous success on your own CRM journey. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. And I
Thank
hope to
you.
hear from some of you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye. Okay.